What is Daisaijo? We are the home for culture-defining brands, both ours and yours. 10 Over Surf Shop is more than a retail hub and event space. We're fully stocked with expert advice and shared stories. Stories in Longboarder and Wavelength Magazine, Europe's longest-running surf mag, connecting brands to ocean enthusiasts globally. But when you need to make an impact 24 times a second, Cassette can turn the lens on your brand and reframe how your audience sees you. Reaching the real world at the UK Surf and Skate Expo to over 10,000 people. That's real-world engagement. And when digital visibility is what you need, Marwick Marketing is your brand's ticket to that front page feeling. Because you don't have to surf or skate to embrace the flow state of marketing. These are our brands. Let's talk about yours. Daisaijo, the home for culture-defining brands.
Welcome everybody. We're here at the UK Surf Expo and you are here to watch the New Wave panel. I'm going to introduce my incredible guests that are joining us today for 45 minutes of action-packed discussion about what it takes to be a young UK pro surfer here in the UK. I'll start on my left. This is Heath Gillespie.
Yeah.
Local boy from Newquay, part of Newquay Board Riders, and one of our most promising young male surfers here in the UK. Boe Howell. In the middle, welcome Boe. Boe's from the Isle of Wight. Not normally a location on our coastline that you would associate with surfing, but Boe has carved out an incredible surfing career, and it's going to be great to find out about it. And finally, Eva Blackford from over the hilltop at Crantock.
Hey.
Welcome, Eva. Eva's going to be talking also about that pathway into professional surfing and being part of Team England. And finally, my good friend, I went to university with Jamie back in the day at Bangor in North Wales. Jamie is team manager of the Junior Surfing England side, and he is going to be talking about kind of the support that our young surfers are going to get when they get through to that level. So it's amazing to have everyone here. Thank you for giving the time to come and see us here today at Newquay, and welcome to the UK Surf and Skate Expo. I think it's really important to kind of talk a little bit about all of us in our roles. My name's Martin Reay. I am a commentator for Surf in England. I also run a local community surf club in Bude called Bude Wave Riders, and I hold a podcast called Off the Lip, which is the Surfing England podcast. So it's a pleasure to be asked to be here today. We're going to start by talking to our three amazing young surfers about their earliest memories of getting into surfing. And I'm going to just fire it to Heath first, because you're right next to me.
Yeah.
Heath, where did it all begin for you?
Well, I wasn't actually born near the sea. So I was born near London, about like an hour away from London. And then we used to do holidays down to Wride. And that's where I got into surfing. Then just fell in love, moved to Wride first for about 5 years. And then I've lived here since. So
I remember talking to you about it. Wride, if anyone doesn't know, is a really, really world-class beach break, low tide, notorious for good barrels. But there was a draw from Newquay to come down here. I spoke to your father about it. Why was it eventually that you settled here in Newquay?
Well, like you said, Wride can like pump on its day. It's like such a good wave, but down here there's just way more options. Like places like down like 30 minutes away can be 3 foot bigger than like here, let's say, and like offshore. So it's like, it was a no-brainer really. Just more options, get surf more, better waves.
You've got the option of the south coast, which we can get to with the different wind directions, where I'm from Bude on the north coast. If you've got a westerly, there's nowhere to escape it. So, Boe, growing up in the Isle of Wight, what were your fondest first memories around your introduction to surfing?
My earliest memory, to be fair, is probably also Wride. I think I surfed on the island like before, but I can't really remember. I just remember going there with my dad because he's the one who like taught me to surf and that. It's kind of like who I look up to in surfing. And literally just Wride, such a good wave. Like Keith said, it's so sick on its day, like better than Fishel probably on its day. It's just, like you said, like not as many options. But with the Isle of Wight, it was like there's waves there and stuff. It's just, there's like no consistency at all. Like there'll be waves, like there'll be whole summers where it's just like fully flat. Like even in the winter, there could be like 2 days where it's good. Like I remember last year when I was still living there, there was one day, and it wasn't even one day, it was like half an hour where it like pumped, and it was so good. And then I'm pretty sure Newquay was like firing for 2 weeks straight, and then for us it just disappeared after that day. And then I just was like, I've got to move to Newquay now.
And that's it. You've also done in similar to what Heath's done, but more recently moved over here, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we move through the talk. Newquay has a magnetism to many surfers. Johnny Fryer, another Isle of Wight surfer, absolute shredder from the Isle of Wight, has moved to Newquay in his career.
Yeah.
He works in the surf school and the industry. So I can understand that if you want to develop that kind of passion for surfing and your ability, you need consistent waves.
Yeah.
And although Isle of Wight is isolated, perhaps its population of surfers is less than here.
Yeah.
You are going to get more waves by being in this location.
Yeah.
Thanks, Boe. And Eva, last but not least, where are your memories?
Mostly just from Newquay. Grew up in Crantock, like surf lifesaving, so like got into surfing through surf lifesaving, as everyone like just grew up by the beach. You kind of just get into it by growing up around the sea. Just like it's kind of a no-brainer just to go surf if the waves are there, and it's just like such a fun activity because especially down here, there's not much else really to do but be in the sea. So it's just so nice and it's so calming. So just really love growing up by the ocean, getting involved in surfing, and you meet so many new people from it. It's such a good experience just being around Newquay area, just such good waves.
Yeah,
well, not as nice as abroad, but
no.
we get nice waves.
Maybe we don't get the warmth, and we obviously have quite bleak winters, but that also makes Cornwall a very unique place and a very special place. You know, we have to battle sometimes for our sessions, don't we?
Yeah.
And at the end of it all, when you're sitting in front of a fire or with a hot drink, actually, maybe we feel more invigorated because of the things we've got to go through, whereas if we lived in Australia, it's not that tough. It's pretty straightforward. I have a similar kind of story with my kids growing up in Bude, but as a person myself, I grew up in Manchester. I got involved in surfing through caravanning in Wales in the summer, and it was obviously the ocean drew me away from my kind of lifestyle as a child, and I've lived in Bude since I was 20, and I would not raise my children anywhere else, and we're lucky that we live by the coast because there's so many opportunities. Jamie, where was your introduction to surfing?
Similar to you, to be honest, Martin. So I grew up in Bristol, and we used to come down to Cornwall and Devon on holidays. Started on a bodyboard. I've moved back there, which I still get lots of abuse from this lot about, but
We accept all riders.
most of the time, yeah. But yeah, just learning to love being in the ocean, and came from a family where everything was water-based: swimming, water skiing, diving, all these sort of things. Surfing was where I found my passion, and was lucky enough to then travel off to Australia and learn to surf properly when I was a teenager, and fell in love, met yourself up in Bangor. Yep. Not sure we did much surfing up there, but we definitely had some good fun with the Bangor Surf Club.
Yeah.
Lots of very enjoyable nights down here.
Yeah.
And then actually fell out of love with it for a few years, and was very fortunate in my early 30s to start surfing again. Had the opportunity to come into Surfing England and do something which they found valuable. So.
Yeah.
And just fallen back in love with it, and it's now a huge part of my life. And as you said, can't imagine not wanting to pass it on to that next generation. So my son's 2, and he had his first wave over the summer. Not sure he enjoyed it, but he definitely had his first wave over the summer, and it was great.
Yeah, and that's it. As parents of children, we want to give back that joy that, in theory, their lifetime will be gravitated around surfing. You can't think about a day that you wake up when you're not thinking about what the swell's like. When can I get in the sea? Where is it going to be waves of the next week? Our lives rotate around it, don't they? And that's what we are. We're surfers. So thank you for giving that kind of introduction. So we're going to move through our junior ranks, and you're picking up your passion for surfing. You've got friends. What's the next step for a young child coming through kind of a surfing kind of pathway in a community like Newquay, Bude, Croyd? Boe, talk a little bit about perhaps surf clubs.
Surf clubs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like, obviously at Fishel, like, we're so lucky to have Newquay Board Riders. It's probably, like, one of the best, like, funded surf clubs around, I guess, like, in Cornwall. It's very different, like, on the Isle of Wight, we had a surf club, but there was like, not really any, like, we didn't have, like, a building or, like, a team of people. Yeah. And then, obviously, Newquay you do. And I think especially for, like, the younger kids, it's so helpful. Like, they're getting so much support. Like, they can go out surfing, and then all of their friends will be out as well, like at Fishel especially, because everyone's getting their boards for board riders. Like, you can store your boards in there. It's so good. Like, yeah, it's really helped me, like, since I moved here, just having that. And, like, all the other clubs around Cornwall as well, I guess it's the same. Like, everyone's, like, a community, basically. And you can meet so many people through it. And it's so helpful for the younger kids. Like, even, like, older kids, to be fair, like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for the young ones. It's sick.
So Tegan and Heath and Boe are all part of Newquay board riders. I beg your pardon,
Wrong sister.
Eva. It's not the first time I'll say that. Tegan is Eva's older sister. We've recently just come back from the Interclubs, which was a club competition at Porthtowan last weekend, where we all compete against each other as clubs, which is an amazing gathering of clubs. And you can see the juniors through to the old vets all surfing. When you're at a club like that, what types of things do younger surfers get introduced to in terms of a competitive side of young club surfing? Heath?
Well, I wasn't actually at the Interclubs this year. I was in Ireland, but yeah, I've been to previous events, and it's like such a good vibe around, and like it's not really like club against club. It's more like just go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. Like such a good environment for the younger lot.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So Heath is a year younger than Eva and Boe, and Heath was very fortunate that in his junior career he was under 14, the first age group to enter a selection of competitions around the southwest that Surfing England run called the Junior Surf Series. So Heath, he was in under 14 when we first started it. 5 events around the southwest. How did you get on?
Yeah, good. I picked up a couple wins and a few seconds, but yeah, it's such a good like run of events because like best way to become a better competitor is by doing these events, and it just really helps having these events around.
So you go through under 12s and under 14s in the Junior Surf Series, and then at that point, your kind of options of competitive surfing girls, we were talking about it before, Eva, begins to in some ways diminish a little bit at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So there's kind of a void. Explain that.
There's not like after I didn't get to do the Junior Surf Series, as there was the year out, but after that you just have the Grom Search till you're 16, which there used to be more events for the Grom Search. When I first started there was 5 Grom Search and you did like a series, and then it went to 3 and now it's just 1. So it's like dropping, and it's mainly because of like funding, which is so hard to get now. And then after under 16s you just have the English. And then there's not many other comps in England other than the Jesus, and then like board riders comps and stuff, so there's not much. And especially this year, so many have been cancelled.
Yeah.
So it's like so hard to keep on going when you get older.
Yeah.
But you just need to like, there's comps abroad, but it's like the money, and then it's like difficult once you get older, but it's like, it's hard, but like, it's nice to have lots of comps because then you get to surf more, see everyone, and you just get to practice more.
Yeah. The NGB Surf in England is fully aware of that void between 14 and sort of 16, 18. We are really driving grassroots through that young age group, under 12s and under 14s, often every event. Our Newquay event is tomorrow at Great Western, if anyone wants to go and see that. And it is oversubscribed in every division. So it sells out quicker than a Glastonbury festival. You open up the opening parents log in, there's a waiting list twice the size of the actual amount of event, which is amazing and testament to the amount of young surfers coming through our UK surf scene with huge support from all our clubs. What we know and what we recognise as the national governing body is that at that age of 14 up, we need to be able to have the next step, but that needs major brand support. If we look at Dry Robe have come in to support Team England, which we'll come on to, Jamie. They have invested right through all of that. We've now got Lucas into the world. He is a world spotlight surfer, Lucas Skinner, wearing his Dry Robe. And I remember watching Cloudbreak with the champion finals that we just had a couple of days ago for the WSL. And one of the pro elite was climbing onto a jet ski wearing a Dry Robe. Dry Robe is fully immersed into the world, and our young juniors have taken, with Lucas steering that way, has taken that into the world out there. It needs a brand to take hold of our under 14 up, or 2, to throw some money at that. And what we will find is that is the area with our greatest talent These are our best surfers in the UK at under 14 through to 21 that you will see in any beach around the UK, and they're the ones we need to invest our next into it. Do you agree, Jamie?
Absolutely. So going away to international events, going to Worlds and European Championships, we see that in the free surfs, in the practice days, our surfers are as good as anyone else in the world. There's always going to be the exception. There's always going to be the kid who goes on to be a world champion at every event. But on a whole, the English surfers are holding their own. They're just as good as anyone else in the world. The difference is the competition exposure. So to use Portugal as an example, I remember speaking to one of the Portuguese Federation a few years back, and on average, there are about 100 to 120 organised events in Portugal each year for junior and open surfers. That's 2 a weekend, pretty much. And it's just having that experience of surfing in competition every day, getting used to winning, getting used to losing, making stupid mistakes, getting interference calls, doing all of these things which become second nature as you go through your career, and just learning from that.
Yeah.
If we use other sports as an analogy, you wouldn't suddenly expect kids to be playing five-a-side football or kicking a ball around their friends and suddenly go and play in the Premier League. Yeah. They need to get that competitive experience. And that's for one area where we are lagging a bit behind. It's something, as you said, we're well aware of. We are trying our very hardest. And if anyone out there is interested, please do let us know. Yeah. But it is the one area where British surfers as a whole tend to fall back a little bit, is we just don't have that competitive exposure. And I can see you all nodding, which is good to know that you feel the same. Yeah. And actually that's part of what we're trying to do with the junior squad, is bring all of the best surfers in the country together and give them that environment where they're competing against each other, they're training against each other. They're not just on they're not just on their local beach where they're already the best surfer on the beach at 12. They're actually coming and they're competing against Heath and Eva and Boe and Lucas and everyone else, and seeing what the potential is. They're coming in at 12, 13, and having these potential stars to look up to and sort of see the level they need to be reaching. And hopefully that just inspires them to reach up to that next level.
Yeah. So we're kind of let's go back to under 12, under 14. We're at the Junior Surf Series. The children that are competing on that tour at the moment, who are competitive surfers, they get to be invited to Champions of Champion Day, Heath, and you recall that was happening, I think in your case, was it at the Wave?
Yeah, I wasn't there actually.
Oh, gutted.
Yeah, I know.
You missed the Champions Day. But in our last few years that we've done a Champions Day at the Wave, an amazing training facility that I know Surfing England you're going to talk about with where you use in terms of Team England later. Last time we ran it, it was at Fistral, and Kerry Powell. Kerry is one of our highest experienced judges on the World Tour. She's judged at WSL top level. Kerry ran a very, very specialized priority training for the Groms, those winners, understanding about when you're in the water and you're looking at the actual contest area, seeing the numbers color-coded with your color, first priority, second priority. We as a nation haven't had that at competitive level with our juniors until last year. It's the very first year we've introduced it. The European equivalents at 12 are already doing it. We've got to be at the same level as them. So Heath and Boe and Eva, you've all had experience of surfing under priority. It's like playing a game of chess in the water, isn't it? And understanding where to sit. But at this point, Heath, you're winning events, so you're being noticed. Eva, how does it then move from that junior kind of tour to being selected for Team England? How did you get yourself to be working alongside Jamie?
It was kind of like you did the Grom search, you got through that, and then they invited you to a training day. I think there's application, there's for wildcards and stuff for people abroad. And I think you sent in a video. Oh God, it was so long ago now.
Yeah.
You probably know more than me, Jamie, but...
I'm trying to remember how you actually got in the squad, because it was a very, very long time ago. So
it was, because I think I started the squad at 13.
Yeah, I think you were, yeah.
Because my older sister was in the squad, Tegan, and then I went through, because I went to the training days and was just watching. And I think I just joined in one at the Wave, and then I kind of just went to the other ones, I think.
So it was almost like a trial that you'd gone to one of those training days. Boe, how was your kind of process of getting onto Team England?
Yeah, I joined kind of late, later than most people, I think. I think I was 16. Obviously, because I was like pretty far away from it, like living like 5 hours away. So obviously it would be kind of hard to join earlier than that because they didn't actually know who I was.
Yeah.
But I came to Cornwall like loads just to surf and stuff when it was flat on the island. And I don't really know how it happened, to be fair. Someone was just like, do you want to come to a training day? I went to it. I went to like 2, and then they were just like, oh, like you're on the team now. It wasn't really, I didn't send them anything, I don't think.
I'm sure behind the background there was far more than what perhaps you might see, because Jamie and Jamie's junior coach, Boe Howell, they are going to be talent scouting, much like a football talent scout at the side of a pitch, coming to watch players play. They're picking up on not only competitive results in Heath's case, you talked about your wins. They're also looking at kind of like your social media nowadays, and we'll come on to that as well, video edits that you're dropping, word of mouth, people that you work with. It's a massive gathering, a fishing net of information that's drawing a person into their kind of eyesight, isn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got eyes everywhere, basically. So it may have felt a bit random to you guys, but actually we, as a team, are sort of watching everyone from the under 12s at the Junior Surf Series, all the way through the different events. We're talking to the different coaches who are working around the country. We're just trying to gather as much information and just sort of getting ideas from people who's really impressing them, who's surfing well at Fistra, who's surfing well in Troy, who's turning up to events and blowing people's minds. So we have sort of quite an infrequent conversation with sort of some of the judges as well who work at these events, and shapers and all sorts of people just sort of feeding bits of information into us. And that kind of just opens our eyes as to what's going on. I mean, just to give you an idea, there is a bit more of a pathway. It is a bit more structured than it sounds to the guys. So at the end of each year, we tend to sit down. We will go through all of the results from a year for people in the squad and people outside of the squad. And we'll look at all of the major events which have happened that year. And we'll try to work out who are the top, however many people we want in that division. We'll then approach them and do a little bit of digging, make sure that they're not just the best surfers, but also the right kind of people who are going to be good on the squad, who are going to be working hard and so on. And we'll invite them along to come and join the squad. There's also a second route, which is what we call wildcard applications, and that's more for people who either might not have surfed as much because potentially they're in the Isle of Wight or the Northeast, or they might be based overseas, and it just gives them an opportunity to sell themselves, basically. And so through that, we've had people come into the squad from Australia, from Bali, from California, Hawaii. Just trying to think where else we've got people on the squad from at the moment. Portugal, the Canaries. In the past, we've had people from South Africa, all with English backgrounds, English parents who were born in the country, who want to surf for England. And most months now, I'm having conversations with people somewhere around the world who are interested in becoming part of the English squad. We've got a really good reputation around the world now that we do things right and we look after our squad. So it's becoming quite a high-profile squad nowadays. And part of that is what we've done. Part of that is the success our surfers are having. Part of that's the great stuff these guys are putting out on social media and sort of really selling what's happening. So it's a really exciting opportunity. It's something which has really, really impacted on the British surfing scene as well. So just to give an example, the British team who are in El Salvador at the moment, so Charlotte and Imari on the girls' team have both come through wildcards in our squad. And I'm trying to think who was on the men's team. No, men's team are two Welsh, both Welsh, aren't they?
Patrick Logan.
Yeah, Patrick Logan and Aaron
Strong.
came through a little bit before. But so it has really helped to grow that British scene and build up that competition for places and that real pushing up the standard of people coming in to squad as well.
So we've now reached that echelon of England squad. I'm very fortunate. My niece, she's 12. She's been picked up as one of the youngest to move into the England pathway. Bearing in mind that pathway is an under 16 and an under 18 squad, isn't it? So
absolutely.
She's very young in that aspect. We picked up a local Newquay boy, Cass Wooberg, phenomenal young surfer. We're all nodding because we love Cass. Yeah. He is a dynamo, if any of you know Cass. Cass at that point was in year 7, 11 years old, and his wildcard application has been brought in and he's onto the squad. The way in which the national governing body and Team England is supporting, We need to take a child at 11 in our modern world of surfing, mold, coach and train to make them the elite level they are before they get onto that tour, because it starts with fundamentals, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So Jamie, talk to me, and we'll come to the surfers and their experiences. Through a year with Boe, our coach, what type of thing will a young England surfer in their training be expected to go to? And there are different levels, of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
Expand on that.
So the aim for our year at the moment is, and it's always slightly complicated, because I'm sure no one is a bit surprised to know, but surfing's a bit flaky at times. We've just found out we've got the World Championships in 3 months' time. We didn't know about that until a week ago. So we try and train at least once a month. We try and then, that will generally be a larger squad session. It might be half a day or a day, but it's just trying to bring everyone together and get them working together and get them working on some fundamentals. That might be competition strategy, it might be particular technique focus. It varies depending on what the coaches feel is going to work best at that time. We then try to run a couple of specialist camps. So we've done a couple of sessions up at the Wave, which I think all three of you were at earlier in the year, where we were particularly focusing on barrel riding. We're actually going to be running another one in the next couple of weeks, which you don't know about yet. And so we try and do 2 or 3 of those a year. We also then try and run 2 overseas training camps a year. So we try and do one which is focused on the under-14s, and that tends to be in southern Portugal. And it's just a shortish camp, so about 4 days of just really intensive work on technique and getting people thinking about surfing non-stop and just having that time in a really small group, working with Boe and some of our other coaches, really focusing on what to do. The second camp is for the older age groups. We tend to take a group of under-16s and under-18s. And we called this year we called it the Inspiration and Perspiration Camp. So the idea was to tie in with the CT event in Peniche this year. And we had an interesting experience. Is it fair to say that, guys? We had possibly the biggest surf the CT has ever seen one morning, on a day when we went down to surf check in the morning, it was too small for us to surf. By lunchtime, it was 20 foot.
Wow.
And we then had to leave the beach, because actually we were all getting a little bit sketchy. So it was a great opportunity for these guys to go and surf with professional surfers, with the best surfers in the world. Some people got a little bit excited about certain surfers.
I'd like to talk to them about that, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Just interrupt you there. So we're down at WSL, Super Tubos in Portugal. The whole big contest site was there. Eva, when you went in, you got VIP access into the locker room, didn't you?
Yeah.
Where they are changing and getting themselves ready. Talk me about what that vibe inside there was like.
It was just so cool to like go up, and we got access because I think someone from the England team got us access in, and it was so cool because you just saw the locker rooms, everyone's names, the rash vests, like where they all go, like all the food laid out. And it was just like really cool to just see everyone there getting ready. And just, it was weird like to go in, because like it was actually really big in there and like a nice vibe. But it was like, they had so many like different things which you didn't expect in there. And it was just really cool to surf with them as well. Like we went to, when it was really big, another surf break, and like loads of the pros were out. Like when I got a wave in and was coming in, Italo was just warming up on the beach, walked right past him, and I was like, what is going on? And then like Ethan was out surfing with us. Evan, I've actually got a video of my wave, and you can see Ethan just looking, and I was like, oh. But it was such a good camp just to be in the atmosphere. Got to go up to the VIP area, and it was just like so surreal and just nice.
Did it make you, Boe and Eva and Heath, almost aspire to want to work harder to get to that point?
Yeah.
To think, I want that. And if you hadn't have seen that and actually gone inside that room, would you have ever believed it was possible?
No.
What do you think, Boe?
It was so cool to see that they're actually like real people, and it is possible. Because that trip is the first time I've actually met like pro surfers, and like Katie was there, and she's like my biggest style inspiration. Like she's so sick. And like, I had a full conversation with her, and it's like, wow, you're actually like a normal person. It shows they're not like I don't know, like sometimes you're watching like the events and stuff, and it just feels like they're just pro surfers, like they're not actually people, but they are. Like it's so weird. Like you see, like Jack Robinson walking around and that, and like we were all surfing. I saw Yago in the sea like so many times. And obviously he's like the champion now. It's like crazy. Like you can surf the same spots as them, do what they do. Like it is possible. Yeah, it was so cool. Like literally insane.
Yeah.
Insane to see that many people.
Heath, what were your biggest takeaways from that? Did you go?
No,
No,
I wasn't on that camp.
You missed it. So the girls went there. Heath missed that one. Girls, there's a couple of girls from Bude. Coco went there. And when Coco came back, Erin and Caitlin Simmers, she talked about how down to earth they are and also how small they were.
Yeah.
That she didn't realize how pocket rockets they were, and they were amazing. But Coco came back on another level of froth after being there. She was so passionate. And I think, Jamie, you're inspiring our young England surfers to go there. I've heard there's talk, correct me if I'm wrong, and I may have put the cat amongst the pigeons, air camp to Munich to the wave. There's a smile. Don't know if you can see that subtle smile. That is...
In the pipeline.
Yeah.
But they keep holding events. Every time we set a date, they hold a new event. So we were supposed to be going there the first weekend in October. There's the English Nationals or something happening that weekend.
Sorry, that's our rescheduled date.
Yeah, so it's something we're definitely looking at doing. We've been speaking with the guys in Munich. They're really keen to have us over there. We're sponsored by Dry Robe. They're quite closely linked with Dry Robe as well. So it is something which is definitely coming. We just need them to stop running events on the weekends we plan it for. So, yeah.
If we were to take ourselves back 20 years and we looked at Team England coaching, we were restricted to ocean, to conditions that we have to call events on based on what we predicted. How have you seen the introduction, Jamie, as manager, of wave pool technology into the progression of our juniors?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one because I think it has definitely changed things. It gives people the opportunity to get that repetition and the ability to just go and practice a skill over and over and over again and get it right. I don't think it's had quite as much of an impact as we thought it was going to do so far, because we're all down in Cornwall, it's up in Bristol, it's still a 2.5, 3 hour drive. I think as those pools become more widespread, so we've now obviously got Lost Shore open up in Scotland, we've got Munich, we've got potentially one opening up in Birmingham in the near future, and potentially 2 or 3 others in the UK as well. I think as that comes in, we'll start to see a real change in how people are using them. We've used them. We started off using them quite a lot, and I think we've had to learn how to use them as well, because you can't just go there and do a training session. It didn't work. I think you guys would all agree with that. It needs to have a very, very specific focus and a very, very clear focus. And the temptation when it first opened, I can't remember if any of you guys went to the first session we did up there, before the Advanced Plus existed, before the Barrel session existed, before the Expert session existed. We had the first Advanced Plus session up there, which was running it was the end of the day. None of the kids knew that it was going to happen. We weren't even sure it was going to happen until about 2 minutes before. And we literally just had to tell them to stop, not to paddle in, and get ready. And all of a sudden, the wave went an extra 50% higher, and all we heard was this hollering and shouting from everyone. And then I think everyone said it was probably the best half-hour surf they'd had in a long time. I think those waves can be really, really beneficial, but it's using them in the right way.
Yeah.
And I think the air training is potentially going to be one way. We found the barrel stuff. I hope you guys found it useful, because it gives you a chance to practice on that. How often in the UK do you get a chance to practice on a barreling wave? Unless you're Heath at Fitzgerald. It's just sort of trying those things you don't get the chance to do regularly in the ocean. So I think it's going to be a really, really important tool in the future.
It's quite controversial at the moment. We've obviously had the wave, and Phil, I can see here in the audience, is heavily involved with the wave and has been there. The wave has moved through ownership and is now under new ownership, so we're in negotiation as an organisation with our affiliation with the wave. The London project that's in the pipeline is actually moving away from waveguard technology as far as we were aware, and potentially to the Munich technology, which you were talking about going to do the air camp. So that's it has a big long wall and it shunts waves. It has multiple variations of what it can run. Lucas goes there quite frequently. We've seen he is phenomenally gifted in the airs he can do because of that unique wave. So potentially we may see one of those in the next 5 years on our doors in our country. And it's another great, exciting time for young surfers to be coming up. And many, if the parents are here in the audience with their young surfers, they couldn't be at a more exciting time for the opportunities to be a young surfer than when Jamie and I grew up. And actually, they were the doldrums at the times, weren't they? The funding is coming. There's a very, very well-structured NGB supporting grassroots right through. And at the end of it, we've got Lucas, who comes off back-to-back Boardmasters wins after breaking his leg, comes back, and we're starting to see the girls moving through in the same way as well. Charlotte Mulley, she finished in the Euros in the final. Amazing result. We're seeing the fruits of an organisation and a labour. Let's bring it back. If you were sitting here as 3 Australian Groms, at the same level of your ability, you probably wouldn't be working now. You'd be paid professionally by brands. All of you have to work full-time, don't you? Okay. Heath, how are you making the day-to-day ends meet to support your surfing career?
I'm doing some ding repairs up at Skin Dog Surfboards Factory, and like a bit of surf instructing as well, just to support some trips away to these comps in Europe. But yeah.
And you're sponsored by Volcom, am I right?
No.
No? You're just
Finn is.
wearing all of it today.
Yeah,
So,
my brother.
yeah, your brother, Finn, is a Volcom rider, beg your pardon. Do you get funding from your sponsors to support you with anything?
No, I don't. That's what I'm looking for now. Like I've realised I have to make this my job if I want it to be my job, pretty much. So like making a proper CV to send to these brands and like find the contacts to like speak to these people, and yeah.
And it's
hopefully
tough.
I've got a few things coming my way, hopefully. So
Yeah, I mean, without doubt, you made a really good impression at Boardmasters. You even beat your brother, went further in the event, didn't you?
Yeah.
And his older brother wasn't too happy about that. Boe, let's move to you. You want to pursue a professional career in surfing, but how do you make your day meet and day end to end?
Yeah, so like since I've moved here, I've basically got like a full-time job now, like 2 jobs. I work at the beach bar at Fistral, and it is really fun. Like I enjoy it. I've met so many people doing it, but there is that thing again where it's like you'll be outside like clearing, and then it'll be high tide, and then it'll be pumping, and like every single time it's pumping, I'm working, and then I just look out, I can see everyone that I recognize, like see everyone getting waves, always see Heath out there, and it's like, wow, this sucks so much. I've got to actually work. And then, yeah, when I'm not working, the waves suck. It's kind of just like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's got to be done. Like, I just want to get money, like, especially for traveling. Like, this winter, hopefully I'll go away, like, Indo maybe. And, yeah, like, yeah, just get, like, the extra money. But obviously, I wish I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Like, if you could just be sponsored by, like, Billabong or something and get funding from it, that's, like, my dream. Like, dream sponsor would be so good. But, again, like, it's so hard. Like, there's so many people now who want it as well. Like, they can't just sponsor every single person who surfs. So you've got to, like, stand out somehow, and, like, everyone gets it. It's really hard. It's really hard for them, like, to make them notice you. But one day, I mean, I feel like everything's going to amount to something one day. It can't just be for nothing.
No.
So I think
You've got a dream. You've got a dream, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to
It's
have
gonna
that
happen.
passion.
Yeah.
I think back in the day with Ruben Ash, who's a local Bude surfer, when he was on the Billabong team, he was making a good earnings from what he was doing. There wasn't the social media platform that we all have now. And around the way the brands market themselves now is they give drip feed. They might send you a wetsuit and they might send you a t-shirt, but there's no financial backing there. You're going to post your amazing shots of riding and surfing on your social media. And in theory, they're spreading their marketing team over loads and loads of young surfers without really investing a huge amount of money. You are their marketing team, but they're doing it in a very cheap way.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the world has changed in surf sponsorship, and it's now finding a way to make yourself a brand, a successful brand, to bring in those sponsors. In your case, Eva, Tegan, your sister, still under Roxy as a sponsor?
still under
so she's
Roxy.
maintained that Roxy sponsorship. And how are you working towards your support with surfing?
Well, like, obviously, Skin Dog have been a good help. Like, I get boards from them at discounted price, which is so nice because they're so expensive to get new boards. And keep on, as a kid, you keep on changing your size. You need multiple boards for different waves. And you just keep on growing, so you need new boards quite a bit of the time. but then it's nice to sell them onto the groms when they grow up. But I work full-time lifeguarding and in a cafe, and it's nice to be by the ocean, but then you're also like, oh, it's pumping. And it's hard because in surfing, everything does cost money. So you need to fund it somehow. But then if you want to go to the comp, you can't work for like 2 weeks. So it's like you're spending that money, and then hopefully I can go traveling with the money I've saved. But it's like hard to fund everything, and then you're like, oh, I don't have any money left. Need to work again. But definitely brands do help a lot. But I think it's so hard to get noticed, and especially the parents, I think, do such a great job. Like, you need that filming to put on social media, which, like, they're trying to work full-time. Most of the parents have full-time jobs, so they can't film you in the day, and then if you have school, can't go in the day, and then especially in the winter, it gets too dark, so it's so tempting to miss school and go. But then also you really need to, like, have the education as, like, a backup option.
It's interesting you mentioned the school part. Many of the audience may know I'm also a PE teacher. In our school at Budehaven are elite England surfers who have been selected, the likes of Betsy and Coco and Martha and Isaac. If they've got a PE lesson during the day, we give them permission to go and surf in that time, because we know that in the winter there's not enough light after school for them to get in the water. So any of our young up-and-coming surfers, maybe families here who have got children in Cornish schools, that is an approach and if they are able to be taken by a parent or another surfer that the family knows well, to be supported. We don't want these kids going down there unsupervised, of course, but there are ways to be able to work alongside a school to support you to do that, because you need consistency in surfing. So yeah, that's a really good point around school. The thing that we must also say is we're talking about funding. I'm conscious we've got about 4.5 minutes left, and I'd like to ask if the audience have questions. Just before we finish, and ask the audience, if families are coming from hardship who have got an incredibly talented young surfer who is showing huge prowess, Jamie, there is support through Surf England, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're very fortunate over the last 4 or 5 years we've had access to the Sports Aid Foundation. So this is an organisation which is supported by the National Lottery, and they provide support for families and talented athletes across all sports. If you ever want to see who's who of British sport, go on their website. The people they've supported have been fantastic. And we currently have somewhere between £50,000 and £60,000 a year funding from them, so up to £5,000 per individual to help support them to be able to reach their potential. And it's amazing opportunity. We have been able to support some really good surfers, and it has helped people get to world championships and to world events. It's split between the junior and the adaptive squad, and it has helped people go on and win world medals in the past. So it's a really fantastic opportunity. We are, over the last year, also expanding it a little bit. So it's not just surfing now. Surfing England does cover longboarding and SUP as well. And so we've just had our first athlete who's been supported by one of the smaller awards outside of surfing, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah. So it is accessible for all. We don't want it to be an elitist sport.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it can be because of the financial travel costs of moving and going to surf to other countries where it's warm water. But as an organisation, we want to make sure every young talent that is nurtured can be supported if financially they can't be supported. Right, we've got 3 minutes. I think we've got microphones out there. There they are.
Yep.
If you do happen to have a question, and please don't be embarrassed to ask, and ask any of our guests or myself or Jamie, please raise your hand and we'd love to have a little chat with you. Hi, Ben. Yeah, there's a microphone coming across to you now.
Do we have to accept
I think we have to accept Ben's question.
Yeah.
Hi, Ben. I don't know if it's on. It's on. There you are.
Oh, is it? Oh. So I was just wondering from the surfers, what are you working on at the moment? I'm just super interested to know, are there any particular tricks that you're trying to nail? And is there a particular air that you're trying to get nailed? Are you working on barrels? Like, what are you working on at the moment? What are you trying to get nailed?
We'll go along the line. Heath, go.
Yeah, I'm working on my air game a lot at the moment. It's just, I've noticed that it's just such an important thing to have now. Nowadays, you see like these little 12-year-olds doing full rows everywhere, and you're like, whoa, I need to get my air game on like top form. So yeah, that's definitely something I'm working towards.
And are you working on that in the water and out the water? Like, what do you do out the water to
Out of the
move that.
water, it's just gym stuff, getting more explosive, which does help for the airs, I guess. So yeah, it's just not really specific stuff for airs out the water, but yeah, just in the water, just trying them all the time.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like all the answers are going to be the same, but I'm trying to do like airs recently. I'm trying to, like, literally in the last couple of weeks, that's what I've been trying to like go for in most sessions. And then like barrels as well, I guess, but it is hard at officials. Like, well, I mean, like you said, Heath gets barreled all the time, but it's pretty hard to get barreled there.
the barrel king, Heath.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been like trying to do most recently. But it's so hard to do airs.
I think through the summer, it's hard to get barreled. We don't get the
Yeah.
consistent swell. We're going into the autumn, our hurricane season. We'll get, like Erin, we're going to get some more powerful waves.
Yeah.
Those barrels will be out there. There are good reefs around. We can get onto it.
Yeah.
Eva?
Probably a bit different, just like more power in the turns, just like trying to get like to that next level, especially in like comps. You need like the speed, power, flow, what the judges are looking for. So definitely just more power in the turns, which does help by like going to the gym and just like training outside and then just practice. So it'll definitely get better with more consistent waves in the winter or if you go away.
Let's try and squeeze one more question in before we're asked to politely leave. There's one. Yeah, little Grom at the back. Can we stick? There we go. Love that. Can you see him?
Yeah.
It's a bit bright here.
Where's your favourite place to surf in the whole world?
What was that?
Where's your
Favourite
favourite
place to
place?
surf in
Where's
the
your
whole world?
favourite place
Good
to surf
question.
in the whole world?
Favorite place, without giving away too much secret spots, I'm afraid to say. Go on, Heath.
Oh.
I was just recently in Australia, surf Snapper Rocks, and it's just insane waves, so good. Pretty busy lineup, but yeah, the waves that come through are insane.
What about here?
Probably Fistral.
Fistral. North Fistral?
Yeah, I just get the most waves there, so that's, yeah.
Oh, where's your favourite spot?
Yeah, like basically up until kind of this year, it was 100% Fistral because like I think it's like the funnest wave because it changes so often. Like you can literally like you'll never know what it's gonna do. But I'm there like all day, every day now because of the surf school and beach bar. So I'm kind of getting a bit sick of it. It's like the only wave that I surf. So I've been trying to surf other spots, but yeah, kind of Fistral. I went to Portugal last year as well, and there's some spots around there that were just literally insane. Like I think it's like Arafana,
Yep.
something like that.
Arafana, yeah.
It's just so fun. Like, it's such a good wave. I'd so go back. But yeah, probably still Fistral.
Yeah,
I guess.
Fistral's a popular spot.
Yeah.
Eva, lastly?
I loved Mandiri in West Sumatra in Newquay, just because there was like, it's kind of a beach break, but so much more power. And then here, probably Crantock, home beach, a lot quieter. So like you get so many waves, but it does pump on the good days.
Something special about surfing at home, isn't there? You know, it's not just the beach that you feel comfortable about, it's the people, the atmosphere, the fact that you surf together with the community. You can't take that away. Where's your favourite spot, buddy?
Oh.
Fistral 2. Another Fistral lover. Well, we've run out of time. I really want to thank everyone for coming to listen to our New Wave panel. I'd like you all to give our amazing young professional surfers a round of applause. It's brilliant to have you on board. Tegan, Boe, and Eva. Oh, Heath, Boe, and Eva. I'm too tired. Sorry, Heath.